Chasm City by Alistair Reynolds. This is a book in the Revelation Space series. It takes place before and during some of the events of Revelation Space, but it's separate from the inhibitor phase aspect of Revelation Space. And this is a science fiction story told in the far-off distant future where mankind has reached the stars and has colonised most of it, and has even split into at least 3 distinctive almost species regarding on how much technology they've incorporated into their bodies and how much augmentation they're in for, sort of thing. Or not. And we follow a guy called Tanner as he leaves his home planet of Sky's Edge as he chases a man to kill him, effectively. It's a revenge story. A woman was killed by this man. He's going to chase down this man and kill him. However, what starts as a straightforward story of intrigue and going to places and trying to hunt down this guy turns into a 3-pronged, timey-wimey mess. Because while he's on Sky's Edge, he is infected by a virus which apparently inflicts the sufferer with stigmata, but also flashes of memories of a guy called Shiler Houseman, who not only was the first to bring people to Sky's Edge, but was so despicable, was actually crucified after having done so. So we jump back in time every now and again as we follow Sky's life. We meet him when he's a little boy in a nursery, on a colony ship, on the way to Journey's End, which is what they called the planet before it became Sky's Edge. And we follow his illustrious career of a burgeoning psychopath as he worms his way up to captaincy on his colony ship. And we bounce back to Tanner on his adventure where he's left Sky's Edge and has made his way to Chasm City at Yellowstone, around which the Glitter Band formerly orbited. The Glitter Band being where the amazing Prefect Dreyfus emergencies took place. But during the 15-year transition from Sky's Edge to Yellowstone, the melding plague has hit. And so he turns up post-COVID, effectively, to the Rust Belt and a Chasm City that has fallen far from its former glory. And he wakes up having been in cryostasis on the journey to find he's got amnesia, he's forgotten who he was, he's got memories of Sky, but he hasn't got memories of himself. And in doing so, we then get flashbacks to before the cause for the vengeance to take place in the first place. So he's on this planet, he's a mercenary working for some crime lord, as far as I can tell, out in the middle of the jungle. And we follow his exploits working for this guy and the events leading up to the woman getting murdered and the resulting chasing across the galaxy. So we keep jumping between these 3 points of view, these 3 timelines, and I was intrigued enough to keep going. I started this towards the end of last year. I thought I could read a 600-page book in 4 days. Well, actually, I finished it today, being the 14th of January. It's quite dense text. Now, I enjoyed it. While I found it overly long, 2, I found the characters not very likeable. I mean, Skyler was a psychopath. Tanner is this gun for hire. And okay, the one that we follow in Chasm City, who doesn't know who he was or is, although it's coming back, is a bit more interesting because he's discovering what Chasm City is now that melding plague's being and sort of gone, and how society's completely fallen there as he's trying to track down this guy to kill him. And then via the Slurm factory, that was a bit out of nowhere, we then finally get to the conclusion when the identity of Tanner comes into question multiple times. Because then it turns out there are multiple veils of personality to unpick before you finally find out who Tanner is and who he's been sent to kill and who's actually chasing him to kill him. Apparently, because there's somebody doing that as well. For such a long book, the ending was rather quick. A lot of things just came out of nowhere in terms of revelations and extra characters and a Slurm factory. Now, I always think this might have been better off as 3 separate books telling 3 separate stories and 3 separate characters going on 3 separate adventures. Because then we can have Tanner in this post-COVID city hunting down this guy to kill him. We can have a gun for hire in the middle of the jungle with giant snakes and a crime lord and people coming to ambush them. And then we could also have colony ships with a psychopath and an insane dolphin and an alien ship made of tofu. I think having them as 3 separate stories would have been better than blending them all together to get an overlong series of jumbled accounts that finally conclude somehow in some way that I didn't find particularly fulfilling. Anyway, I would say it's worth reading. So it's quite a long book. This one's 634 pages. Other editions are nearly at 700. It was nice reading something in the Revelation Space space. Although it was really sad and depressing seeing what has happened to that glorious glitter band where Prefect Dreyfus did his amazing detectoring. There you go. So, have you read Chasm City? What did you think of it? What's your favourite book in the Revelation space? So far I would definitely say the Prefect Dreyfus trilogy is pinnacle spacey weighty detective stuff. I highly recommend those. This one I would only recommend to die-hard fans of Revelation Space. Comment down below please, but as usual, if you've nothing nice to say then please keep it to yourself. Thank you. Don't forget to like, subscribe and other YouTube things if you want. And until next time, see you later.